The entire global economy. The price you pay at the pump, the energy needed to keep cities around the world running. Much of it depends on what's happening in a tiny, narrow corner of the ocean. Every day, about 21% of the world's total oil consumption flows through a single entryway. Now take a closer look. This is not a vast open sea. We're talking about the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow corridor located right between Iran and Oman, which connects the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and the larger Arabian Sea. The distance from one bank to the other is only 33 kilometers. It is a tiny gap that holds the keys to the world's bank accounts. On the one hand, it is a high-risk, narrow passage, a global geopolitical time bomb, where one wrong move could cause severe shocks in energy markets and turn the world upside down. Packed into a narrow 3 km wide shipping lane, lined with naval mines and missile batteries, Hormuz is actually beautiful beyond the warships and radar screens. It's a place where you'll find bright red sand beaches that look like ink rolling in the waves, an ancient culture that predates the modern oil business. Blue water and white sand are familiar to travelers. But have you ever seen a beach that is as bright red as blood? Countless people believe that a great flood is imminent, fearing that the beach is stained with blood, a sign of something coming. In reality, the distinctive red color is due to the high levels of iron oxide in the soil. The black soil and sand give the waves a reddish-brown color, making them appear more intense than waves in other coastal areas. Red iron oxide is not only valuable in cosmetics, clothing, ceramics, and food coloring industries, but locals also use it as an everyday spice. If you swim in Hormuz Island, its distinctive red color can last on your skin for several days. Hormuz is also known as the Rainbow Island, because when you walk or cycle to enjoy its scenery, you will see the color of the surrounding soil constantly changing, as it contains more than 70 different minerals. The island's climate is very mild and pleasant in autumn and winter. However, in summer, the island's temperature can reach 45 degrees Celsius with 95% humidity. Keshem Island. Keshem is the largest island in the Persian Gulf, with an area of about 1,500 square kilometers and a length of more than 130 kilometers. The island is located just a few kilometers off the coast of Iran, just inside the Strait of Hormuz. Although Keshem has never been able to match the luxury of Dubai, this idyllic destination with its crystal clear waters continues to attract Iran's middle class despite the economic crisis. Much of the terrain of Keshem Island is dominated by the region's unique geological formations. Chaka Canyon. When you enter Chaka Canyon, it feels as if the island has suddenly split in two. You walk between huge vertical walls that rise into the sky, some of which are over 100 feet high. Millions of years of wind have carved holes and strange ripples into the limestone, making the walls look like melted wax. At the narrowest points, you can reach out and touch both sides at once, and feel the cool, silent stone even as the desert heat blazes above. It's easy to see why this place was a perfect strategic hideout. It's nature's own high-security bunker, built long before humans even understood what borders were. The locals have a pretty strange story about the Valley of the Stars. They say that long ago, a star literally fell from the sky and crashed onto the island, scattering the soil around it and leaving these strange tall pillars. Geologists will tell you that it's just the result of millions of years of wind and rain erosion. But when you stand there among the jagged peaks and strangely shaped arches, the star story seems much more believable. You'll see tall white salt icicles hanging from the roofs and salt rivers that look like frozen waterfalls. The air here is incredibly pure. Some people even come here just to breathe it in, as it's said to be good for the lungs. It's a total revitalization of the senses. While the outside world is busy with oil prices and shipping lanes, Namakwa is a dark, shimmering labyrinth of absolute peace. It took thousands of years for the salt to break through the crust and rise above, creating a shimmering underground kingdom that doesn't care about the politics of the water above it. At the Lens shipyard, you will see huge wooden boats over 30 meters long, rising from the sand like beached whales. These are the Lens, and the way they are built is a UNESCO-recognized miracle. The craftsmen here don't use blueprints. They don't use computers. Everything is done from memory and has been passed down from father to son for over 1,000 years. They use heavy teak wood imported from India and Burma and create each bend with simple tools like a saw and a hammer. When the sun shines on them, these mineral particles reflect light, creating an effect that resembles millions of tiny diamonds or silver shards scattered across the beach. Because the island is incredibly rich in iron oxide, the waves that crash onto the silver sand are dyed a deep rust red. One of the most enjoyable experiences here is walking barefoot on the sand. These silver mineral particles are tiny and extremely sticky. After walking, your feet and body will be covered in a naturally shimmering coating that doesn't wash off easily, making you look as if you've just been sprinkled with glitter. Imagine stepping on a planet where the soil looks like a giant box of paint. And the fun part is, you can actually eat the soil. Rainbow Valley, a strange place that will make you feel like you've been teleported straight to Mars. This is not a man-made artifact. It's a natural salt dome that has been formed over millions of years. You'll find dozens of hues here, including deep reds from iron oxide, bright yellows from sulfur, and splashes of purple and white. The most interesting thing is that this red soil, known as gallic, is completely edible. It's probably the only place in the world where you can literally taste a mountain. During festivals, artists use this colored sand to paint huge, intricately designed carpets on the ground. On stormy days, the wind whistles through the cracks and oddly shaped caves, creating a rumbling or humming sound. Locals often say that the valley whispers or sings, which adds to the mysterious and somewhat spooky atmosphere of the place. One of the most striking relics of the Portuguese Empire's dominance of the maritime trade routes is this Portuguese fort, which has stood on the northern tip of the island for over 500 years. The fort was built using local coral stone mixed with a special mortar, which created its thick, strong reddish-brown walls. Its architecture reflects the European military style of the time, yet it uses materials from the Gulf region, creating an interesting combination. One of the most impressive features inside the fort is an ancient church. The Portuguese built the church underground to escape the island's intense heat. It has intricate arched vaults and Gothic-style stone pillars, creating a sacred and cool space. Even today, we can see the rusted bronze and iron cannons scattered throughout the grounds and facing the sea. They were once a formidable weapon for controlling the Strait of Hormuz. Since Hormuz Island lacked abundant natural freshwater sources, the Portuguese built a huge system for collecting rainwater inside the fort. This was a crucial element in helping their army withstand long sieges. Salt Goddess. Have you ever stepped inside a huge, sparkling and breathing diamond? That's exactly what it feels like to visit the Salt Goddess Cave on Hormuz Island. The air inside the cave is extremely pure and rich in negative ions due to the high concentration of salt, which is very beneficial for people with respiratory diseases. It is considered a natural spa in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. West Salt Cave. In contrast to the predominantly white color of the Goddess Cave, the West Salt Cave is a mixture of many colors. Due to the presence of various minerals, the salt layers here can range from dark red, burnt orange, to purple and ash gray, leaving the fascinating salt caves of Hormuz Island behind. Let's go to the ancient city of Loft on Keshem Island. This is one of the oldest and most unique villages in the Persian Gulf, where time seems to have stood still for centuries. Warm brown mud brick houses, soaring peaks, and dinghies anchored in the deep blue sea in the distance. Right next to the Naderai Fort is an incredibly innovative water conservation system called the Tala Cup. The ancients dug 366 wells to correspond with the number of days in a leap year. Each day, the villagers would open only one well to draw water, ensuring that the precious freshwater supply was used periodically and never dried up during the dry years. Today, about 100 wells remain. Twice a day, this forest puts on a magical show. When the tide comes in, the rising water covers the tree trunks, making the entire forest appear to float on water. When the tide goes out, a tangled, strange root system is revealed, deeply embedded in the salty mud. Visitors can only explore the forest by boat through small canals. The main tree species here is the Avicennia marina. Amazingly, this tree has the ability to drink seawater directly. Its bark acts as a super filter, retaining salt and allowing only pure water to pass through. The people here don't just speak Arabic. They have their own language called Kumari, which is a strange mix of at least 10 different languages. This language is a testament to the history of the Gulf region, where sailors and merchants from all over the world stopped and left their mark on the village's language. The heat in Kumari becomes unbearable during the summer because the village is located between steep mountains that trap the heat. Traditionally, for about 3 months every year, usually from June to September, almost the entire village closes its doors and goes by boat to the city of Kasab to collect dates and escape the heat. When autumn comes, they all return to their coastal kingdom together. Kumari is located right on the Strait of Hormuz. From the village's shores, huge oil tankers can be seen passing by like floating buildings on the sea. With a history spanning over 700 years, the life of the Kumari people is completely intertwined with the sea. In Arabic, Zabu Haram means the mountain of women. Since the island is located behind the bend of a long fjord, that's where the saying comes from. The station only lasted about 5 years before it was abandoned. And today, only a few dilapidated stone ruins remain. Now, it's one of the best places for a dhow cruise. The water here is crystal clear and teeming with colorful corals and an abundance of fish. Imagine, sitting right at the water's edge, a massive stone fort guarding one of the world's most important shipping lanes. This is Kasab Fort, and it has stood tall since it was built by the Portuguese in 1623. You will see huge wooden ships that are nowhere to be found today. One of the strangest things you will find there is the Bal Chuful, or lock house. These were ancient windowless stone houses, built to protect valuables like dates and grains from thieves in the scorching heat when the owners were away. The main round tower in the middle is the centerpiece of the fort, and it is filled with exhibits of everything from old jewelry and weapons to a traditional Quranic school and a kitchen that dates back hundreds of years. If you're visiting Hasab, this is the best first stop to understand why this remote corner of Oman is so special. Be sure to climb the ramparts for a spectacular view of the harbor. This is the harbor that soldiers guarded 400 years ago. While Telegraph Island is a famous historical site, Sibi is essentially an underwater festival. It is like jumping into a huge natural aquarium. You will be surrounded by hundreds of colorful fish, such as parrotfish and sergeant majors. And the coral reefs here are some of the healthiest in the region. You will see huge wooden ships that are nowhere to be found today. One of the strangest things you will find there is the Bal Chuful, or lock house. These were ancient windowless stone houses, built to protect valuables like dates and grains from thieves in the scorching heat when the owners were away. The main round tower in the middle is the centerpiece of the fort, and it is filled with exhibits of everything from old jewelry and weapons to a traditional Quranic school and a kitchen that dates back hundreds of years. If you're visiting Hasab, this is the best first stop to understand why this remote corner of Oman is so special. Be sure to climb the ramparts for a spectacular view of the harbor. This is the harbor that soldiers guarded 400 years ago. While Telegraph Island is a famous historical site, Sibi is essentially an underwater festival. It is like jumping into a huge natural aquarium. You will be surrounded by hundreds of colorful fish, such as parrotfish and sergeant majors. And the coral reefs here are some of the healthiest in the region.